Sophia talks, talks or I think talks, says, all the love to Nurse Liz. Chat is very reactionary in this case, but the panel brought up a lot of good points. I don't think it's junk science per se. It's clearly real science applied in a way that's meant to show a narrative. Makes sense. And I think, and that is, I believe what Peter was getting at when he was talking about junk science is it's not necessarily that the science itself is bad. It's just when it's applied in a certain way, when it's used as a particular tool, it can become junk science in this context of a trial, of a court proceeding.
You
So
use it inappropriately. That's the point.
Exactly.
And you'll see the diagnosis.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go for it.
I was just gonna say, you know, just like we've had Spidey on here so many times to talk about body language because he's a body language analyst. That is something that is a very specific set of skills. You know, some people would recognize it, some people don't. But he himself says that's not something that can come into a trial. Like you can't use that kind of information to determine anything for a trial. That would be considered junk science if brought into a court of law. Just because it would be an improper use of a particular type of analysis.
And they wouldn't let it in. Right? We've got standards.
Yeah, they wouldn't let it in.
She clearly met the standards. For getting admitted into the testimony position.
Yeah, if people think this is junk science by the standards of what makes it into courtrooms, you have some bad news coming to you.
I've written a Daubert brief a couple of times now, back in a different life.
We have a case in Washington that's notorious because it was the one of the few times the Washington Supreme Court drew the line on bad science, and that was the case of the police officer's dog who was capable of detecting fresh guilt scent.
Yep.
That's crazy.
We've got
that got passed the Daubert review.
Yeah.
We don't have Daubert in Washington. We're fried.
Oh, you guys don't have.
Yeah.
Oh, fried.
And to be clear,
so enough police officers say the dog smells fresh guilt. The dog smells fresh guilt.
Wow.
In the law in Washington.
Oh my God.
So for people in the chat who are not familiar, what we're referring to is one of the tests to qualify a witness as an expert witness. There's a couple. There's Daubert, and what's the name of the other one? Fry. That's right. It's been a minute. So there's, depending on the state, on the jurisdiction, you'll have one test or another, or maybe Washington neither. So you know, it can depend from state to state, but we have various standards for qualifying a witness